Welcome to She Reinvented, a podcast all about women reinventing themselves over the age of 35 in their late 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond. Women who are making unconventional choices and going off the path that they were on to follow who they really are. Now, I say over the age of 35 because society often encourages us to explore our passions, explore our identities in our 20s. But after the age of about 35, external societal pressure really comes in for us to decide what we want, decide the path that we're on, and stick to it. But I would say almost ironically, it's not until we reach the age of 35, sometimes our 40s or 50s, when we have enough experience and understanding and we've made enough mistakes to understand what it is that we really want, and now we can make better decisions about our path moving forward. But because it's not as accepted by society and by the internal voices in our heads, just wanting to go off the conventional path, to make a new choice in your life, to leave old identities behind and go towards new ones, this can leave us feeling racked with guilt and shame and confusion and wondering what is the point of life anyways. And this is where I found myself a few years ago after really hitting burnout and deciding to leave marketing, which is something I had been doing for about 10 years, but I had no idea what it was that I did want to be doing. Now, the reason why I even got into marketing and online marketing in the first place was because I thought that that would give me the freedom and the time to pursue my real passions, my creative passions. I'm a very creative person. I like traveling. I like learning languages. But what I quickly found was that this agency was taking up all of my mental time and energy being an entrepreneur. And I ended up feeling completely cut off from the person who I thought I wanted to be in the first place. So during my burnout, during my exhaustion, during my phase of just confusion and not knowing what next, I sought out advice on how to reinvent yourself. But a lot of it was just geared towards people who were living very conventional lives and were conventionally solving the very conventional problems in their lives. Like, what do you do after the kids leave? How do you stay fit after 40? And more just advice on how to continue to live a good life into your 40s and 50s. But what really helped me, as somebody who's never identified with being conventional, was listening to stories of women who went in completely new directions and really shook things up after the age of 35. Because if it was possible for them, it was possible for me too. So even though I didn't know what it was that was next, I knew that it was possible to discover what was next. Because if some other woman 10 years older than me, 20 years older than me, was reinventing herself, that meant that it was possible for me to reinvent myself too. I also realized that there's so many more options out there for changing your life, for finding what you love, that I had never even considered. So I had been telling the story that because I couldn't make myself fit into the box I was trying to make myself fit in, that there was something wrong with me. And by listening to the stories of these other amazing women, I started to realize actually there was something very right with me, and that a burnout and a midlife crisis or an identity crisis is an amazing opportunity to rise from the ashes, redefine yourself, rediscover yourself, and reorient yourself to go on the path that you really want to be going on. And so that's what She Reinvented is all about. And if you're in a place where you know you want to reinvent, you know you want to make a change in your life, but you're just feeling completely stuck and you can't envision what that change might be. I was in a very similar situation a few years ago. And what I did was follow all the typical advice, which is to envision what you want, envision who you want to be. But I could just never get any clarity. I didn't know what I wanted because I was stuck. And then I realized that I had blocks that were preventing clarity from coming to me. And so I worked on those blocks first. And so I think anybody who's feeling really stuck and just not sure, the first step isn't to envision what you want, envision yourself in 5 years. The first step is to remove and dissolve the blocks that are preventing clarity from coming to you. And to that end, I made a guide of the top 5 blocks to clarity that I had to work through and how I worked through them. And I want to give that to you completely free. And that might be one thing that helps you. So you can find it at clarityblocks.com. And with that said, welcome to She Reinvented. I'm so happy that you found me, and I'm so excited about what's next. Stay tuned for future episodes with women who are shaking things up in their lives well past their late 30s, 40s, and 50s. Women who are moving abroad over 35, who are leaving bad marriages and pursuing their passions, traveling the world, and all sorts of other fun and exciting stories to inspire us and show us what's really possible for us. And remember, you are never too old, it's never too late, and you always have more options than you realize. That's the end of this interview so far. If you want to watch the other half of this interview or see how another woman reinvented herself over the age of 35, you can click on this next video here or on the playlist there or in the description box below. And please let me know, how would you reinvent yourself? Please write your answer in the comments below. And if you like this video, the number one way that you can say thanks to me is to hit the subscribe button and then hit the thumbs up button for this video.